G'day guys, it's Mark here from North Oz, and yesterday I uploaded a video where I compared my 2023 Toyota Hilux Rogue to a 2023 Ford Ranger, and that created quite a big debate in the comment section. But one of the interesting comments that I got was that Current Affair did a piece, and it talked about the Ford Ranger. This is what it said in the comment, that the Ford Rangers were unreliable and they were having problems. So what I've done is I've gone and found that video, and I want to react to it. I want to react to it in real time. I want to see what this is all about, see what people have to say about it. And this is actually a really important news piece because this could really affect Ford sales. But not only that, it could really affect people. You know, people buying these vehicles and spending a lot of money on them only to find out that they aren't what Ford said they are. Now, I haven't seen this video. I only watched the first 10 seconds and knew that it's probably going to be something that needs to be reacted in real time. So let's get into it. Let's not waste any more time, and let's see what Current Affair had to say about the new Ford Ranger.
Now, they're one of Australia's most popular cars, but these drivers say they've been sold brand new Ford Lemons. They're stuck in neutral and want the motoring giant to fix the problem.
Well, it's a lemon. This is how stupid this Ranger is.
What started with a ribbon and a smile ended in a breakdown.
I would never buy a Ford again.
Ford, where's my car?
Some customers are calling out Ford and its new best-selling Ford Ranger.
It was definitely a lemon.
And they're urging the consumer watchdog to intervene.
It was a sort of a dream car to me, but now it seems like something that I never want to see again.
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I was so happy. I was showing everyone, my friends and my family, and yeah, it was a really nice car.
Bianca paid $77,000 for what she thought was the car of her dreams.
Have you ever had a new car before?
No, this is my first brand new car. I was really excited about it. I've got one of those photos, you know, you're standing in front of your car with a ribbon on it.
It's a good feeling, you know. It's a good feeling having that brand new car, and they chuck the ribbon on the front, and it's a special moment picking up your first new car. I remember I picked up mine in 2021. That was my Prado, and that was such a good time, honestly. So I hope that nothing too bad has happened to this nice lady's Ford. So let's see what's happened.
And yeah, it's just been disappointing sort of ever since.
She claims her next generation Ranger ended up spending more time at the Closter Ford repair shop in Newcastle than at home. 1 month in, halfway through a road trip to Queensland, it stopped working.
About a 14k round trip walk to the shops and back. And being pregnant, that wasn't very enjoyable.
Oh, no.
So you were stuck in Taree, you, hubby, the 2 dogs, for 4 days.
Yes, we have no way around to get anywhere besides walking. I wasn't too happy.
Ford says its cars are built tough, but Bianca says lucky she's built tougher.
Basically, they couldn't give me a hire car or anything.
The car made it back home weeks later, and then
The car slammed on its brakes at 80 kilometres an hour. Pre-collision assistance failure, parking sensors failure, reverse sensors have malfunctioned, C manual. Being pregnant, I'm lucky I didn't sustain any injuries.
80 kilometres an hour to a dead stop.
Dead to stop, it just went like slammed its brakes on.
I mean, that's beyond a problem. I mean, to me, a problem with a vehicle is like what Toyota had with the whole DPF business. I mean, if you're talking about a vehicle that's towing 2.5 to 3.5 tons, slamming on its brakes on the highway, I mean, I just can't even imagine all the things that could go wrong. I mean, you're talking about other people that could be injured, talking about this poor lady that could be injured as well. This is something, and I know we haven't gotten too far in the video, but this is something I wonder if it's got something to do with the parking brake, and the parking brake is electronic. I believe that's the first time that they've put in their Ranger lineup anyway an electronic parking brake, and one of you guys actually said in the comment section that to be wary of that as well, and that it was a good thing that Toyota kept the manual handbrake, which I actually really like as well. Nothing quite like pulling up and then ripping that big handbrake before you get out. It's got a good sound to it. So it makes me wonder if that's part of the problem. But it sounds like the pre-collision system, PCS, is a bit of a problem as well. And it just sounds like all the technology in it is not going very well at the moment. So this is this First Lady's response. And that's a terrible thing to have happen, especially when we buy these vehicles as travel vehicles, and if you can't use it for travel, then, or you buy it and you spend nearly 80 grand on it and it doesn't work, that would just be the worst feeling. That's why we buy a new car, is for reliability, So let's see what she has to say, and hopefully there's a couple other people as well that might give their stories as well.
You must have felt like you're on a roller coaster.
NRMA came out and they said, we suggested the vehicle needs to be towed.
Your brand new car's being towed for the second time.
Yeah, pretty much.
After nearly a month's worth of repairs, you guessed it.
The dash, where your speedo is, no speedo, no blinker.
That's what I was telling you guys about. That's what I was saying, that screen, if that fails, you will not be able to see anything that's wrong with the car, at least in the Toyotas, or if you have gauges with a small middle screen display, if you at least have that, you can see what's still happening with your gauges, because they'll be individually censored. But if you have one screen that shows all the information and that goes, you've got no hope of trying to diagnose what's wrong with your car. That was a really big point that I brought up in the Ranger versus Hilux review. And a lot of you guys flame me for that. You guys said, but the technology in the Hilux is way behind. That was a big reason why I don't think technology is a good thing to have. I think having a screen to replace all your gauges is a terrible idea. That's why this lady's driving down the highway with no display, no speed, no revs, no seeing if the engine's overheating, anything.
No fuel gauge, nothing.
No fuel.
So essentially, the car had died again.
Yes, essentially, yep.
3 times.
Yeah. Oh, I was furious.
We pushed it to its limit with a grueling test drive around the entire country.
There's ads on Ford saying that the car will make it all the way around Australia.
Yours couldn't even make it around the block.
No. It couldn't even make it 2 hours from home without
She's got a good sense of humour about it, though, to be fair. That's what I was saying, that you would never see a Toyota ad like that. You would never see Toyota advertising saying, we did all this testing in Australia because we know that they can do it. And I specifically brought this up, that 16,000 kilometres testing is what I would do was what I did in my Prado in less than a year, and I barely went anywhere last year. So that gives you an idea. 16,000 kilometres isn't something that you should be boasting about if you're Ford, but that worried me, that ad. And the fact that they said that they tested for 16,000 kilometres, in my opinion, is not enough. If they said 160,000 kilometres, I probably would have been like, all right, maybe they're putting in the work, But 16,000 kilometres? I don't know about that. And obviously, I'm glad she sees the funny side of it, because I don't think I would be as happy about things.
going on it.
Bianca wouldn't see the car again. It's still in for repairs. And that's where her real problem begins. She thought she'd be protected by Australian consumer law.
Have you asked for your money back?
I asked for them to replace the car, and I got the letter last time saying that under the ACL that this car doesn't meet replacement. So it's not like it's a pair of jeans. I don't really think that's all you can do when it's a $77,000 purchase.
I only was able to drive it for a month.
Alex says he's having...
So, obviously that's the first case that they've talked about in this video, and I feel for the lady. It's one thing for me to just sit here and say, I told you so about the technology and this, that, and the other thing, but that's what I was kind of warning us about. That's what I was telling you guys, that, all this technology, I don't think it's there yet. I just really don't. And it's really disheartening to see that someone spent nearly 80 grand, to buy a car, and for it not to work. And you can see the frustration in her face, that she's like, I want my money back because I'm not happy with the product, which rightfully so. Take that money, go buy a Toyota. But and she's not getting her money back. She can't even get a replacement. She was even being reasonable, saying, I want a replacement. Now, I don't know what's wrong with the vehicle, and maybe Ford can fix it. But, I mean, after 3 trips to the dealership in a month, I would be pretty upset, to be honest. And I'm really sorry that poor lady had to go through all that. She's obviously, she's got a kid and stuff too, so she's probably relying on that as transport, and they didn't even give her a loaner car either. So if that's true, and that's not being sensationalized, then that's pretty poor on Ford's behalf. And also, not only that, the dealership has something to answer for there too, because the dealership should be looking after her as well. So let's have a look at this second bloke now and see what he has to say. And hopefully he has a better story, but it's not looking good so far.
Dramas with his Ford Ranger.
What I thought was a dream has been a tragedy.
His first new car, worth over $60,000, has never come back from the Eclipse Ford Ballarat repair shop in Victoria.
That first issue, the vehicle was in the dealership for at least 1.5 months. I was told that I could come and pick the vehicle up. Upon actually jumping into the vehicle, it showed some errors. Day after, same issue again. The car was completely dead. I was in shock.
It's been 4 months.
I did attempt to ask for my money back, but Ford customer service was just, we'll get back to you. I've been told that it's going to be this month. Now I'm being told that it's going to be late February.
A Current Affair has listened to the nearly 40 phone calls Alex made to Ford to find out what was happening with his car.
Mate, 40 phone calls in 4 months, that's not bad, actually. I think that he's quite restrained there. I'd be giving him 40 phone calls a day if I spent 60 grand on a car and it's not working. Let's see what they have to say.
Receiving their loan vehicle back until this all goes through court. I won't have my vehicle back, which was faulty, upon receiving it.
Ford offered Alex a new car only if he'd drop his claim against the company. But after signing this legal contract, he still hasn't been given anything for his $60,000. And he's not the only customer forced to sign.
So he signed an agreement saying that if he drops a lawsuit against Ford, they'll give him a new car. And they haven't even given him a new car yet. Man, that's bad. That's really bad. That's because now they got the signature. It's, I mean, whether they had to stipulate how long he'll receive the vehicle for, whatever. Man, I feel sorry for these people.
And shut up.
Ford, where's my car?
Ford has some form in regards to poor customer service.
EFTM motoring expert Adam Phillips.
Back in 2017, the ACCC took Ford to court and Ford were required to spend $10 million in penalties. They're not going to want to do that again.
They certainly dragged the process out. I wasn't treated how I should have been treated as a customer buying a brand new vehicle.
How would you describe how you've been treated by Ford?
Oh, I think I've been treated disgustingly. I'm not sure if it's because I'm a female, they thought they could get away with it.
And while not all Ford Rangers smell of citrus, the taste left with these motorists is definitely bitter.
If I knew that I was going to go through what I did, I wouldn't have bought it.
After that experience, I don't know if I'd want another one. I think I'm going to get one though.
Well, Bianca and Alex have taken their complaints to fair trading.
Those are two interesting stories, both of them pretty much repeating the same thing, that they, have problems with the vehicles, Ford customer service. Obviously, they had the young fella there who had some issues with, with the whole suing thing, and then, Ford tried to get him to drop it and stuff like that. So, interesting. And, I don't know if these stories are true or not. I don't know if Ford have gone and fixed it. This is only released 4 days ago, so I don't know. But all I can do is react. And, it's when you see, when I talk about on this channel, I talk about my experiences with vehicles. I talk about how my Toyotas have never let me down. I have had myself 2 Toyotas, and my parents have had 6 or 7 Toyotas. And my other family members have also had a couple of Toyotas themselves. And I've had friends with multiple Toyotas. And the thing is that I've never come across anyone that have had this level of issue. I don't even think I've come across a report like this that's been so scathing of Ford. This is a pretty big move from a current affair. This could really affect Ford's sales. I mean, once you lose the trust of your customers, it's really difficult to gain that back. Even like I would consider the business that Toyota had with DPFs, I would consider that like, you know, that created quite a few problems and trust issues within Toyota. But listen, I mean, this is a whole nother level. These are cars that aren't actually working. You know, these are vehicles that are shutting off in the middle of the road. These are vehicles that are turning on. And for me, like, as someone who just gives general advice on YouTube, like, and you know, it's like, it is exactly that. It's just my opinion. It's not even, you know, it's just my experiences, you know. And I always say, go with Toyota, you know. And that whole video that I made, that 20-minute video, 30-minute video that I made, where I talked about how Toyota has less technology in it, and you know, and then other people started chiming in saying that there's sensors in the lower control arms and stuff like that are exposed in the Raptors, and you know, they're not too sure how things are going to go long term. And you know, hearing all these stories that you guys are telling me as well, and now seeing the current affair, and you know, and then after I obviously spoke with you guys about, you know, Ford having a lot of technology in the vehicle and how that's not something that I would appreciate in a vehicle, which is why I went with the Toyota in the end anyway. Of course, it's opinions, you know, every vehicle suits, you know, everyone differently, you know. This just makes me a couple of things. It makes me, one, glad that I purchased my Toyota and didn't go with the Ford, because I was thinking about going with the Ford on paper. Better technology, better drivetrain. The Wildtrack and the XLT are well thought out with the trays, you know. So I was thinking about doing it, but ultimately I decided against it because I know that Toyota are tried and tested, you know, and all the other stuff that I mentioned in that video. I won't go into extreme detail because you can watch that video if you want to see it. But man, and so yeah, I mean, one thing was that I was glad that I purchased a Toyota, but the second thing is, it, you know, it just makes me sad. You know, it makes me sad that people are spending all that money and they can't even, you know, go on a holiday, you know, with their newborn baby. And you know, it's not good. You know, it's not a good look for anyone really. And yeah, and you know, just watching that, honestly, it got to me a little bit, especially seeing the you know, the young lady with a, you know, with a kid, and then the Ford playing up. You know, people work hard for their money. You know, we so that we can buy the vehicles that we want. And this vehicle that she clearly loved, she even said in the end that she just wants to get a car that works, a Ranger that works. So yeah, I mean, it's a bit disappointing, and for me watching it is quite hard to watch, you know, because these people's dreams are shattered. So anyway, I'll leave it there. I mean, that's a quick reaction to you know, to this current affair piece, and I would like to know what you guys think of it. You know, do you think that that this is a good representation of how the Fords are? Do you think that this is going to be a common problem that's going to keep showing up the more that are sold and the more that are released, you know, and the more that, you know, people are picking up from the dealerships? Do you think that's going to be a problem that's going to continue? Only time will tell, I'm sure, but I would really like to know what you guys think. And now, after watching this, you know, maybe people might have a second think about, you know, how this technology in our vehicles is it improving our lives, or is it just creating another point of failure? So that's what I'll leave you guys with. Talk to me down in the comment section. This video went for a little bit longer than I thought it would, but yeah, I mean, this is raw. This is a reaction video. It's just what it is, you know, and it's disappointing to see, like I said, anyway, it's disappointing to see that people are spending their money and they're not getting vehicles that work. So that's why I got a Toyota in the end anyway, because of this exact reason. So I'll see you guys in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this video. Was I right? Was I wrong? Make sure you've had a look at my Hilux versus Ranger video as well, and see, maybe that video might have been a little bit of a fortune teller, might have saw a little bit in the future. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you down in the comment section.